Hello everyone, and I'm Autobot selling the Telltale Gamer, bringing everything Transformers, Telltale Games, and more. So, it's been a while since I've covered anything that has not been Transformers on this channel, but I'm about to change that right now with a game announcement that I was very, very excited for. So, a few days ago, back at the 2024 VGAs, AdHoc Studios, a company composed of former Telltale employees, which you may remember was previously working with Telltale to create The Wolf Among Us Season 2, is actually in process of creating their very own game that will be launching next year, and I cannot be more excited for it. This game is, of course, called Dispatch, and it is a superhero workplace comedy where you are managing a bunch of superheroes in this modern-day LA AU-like place, and it has an amazing star-studded cast, has that distinct brand of Telltale humor that I absolutely love of their older games like The Wolf Among Us Season 1 or Tales from the Borderlands 1. And it just looks absolutely incredible, and it's a game that I cannot wait to play and hopefully cover for you guys in the future. So this is going to be a brief little everything you need to know about Dispatch, the brand new game from AdHoc Studios that is supposed to be, in all intents and purposes, a spiritual successor to the old school Telltale games from the early 2010s. And I cannot be more excited for it. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about what exactly is Dispatch and what you can expect from it. So to get things started, what is Dispatch exactly? Well, for those who haven't seen the trailer yet or haven't checked out its wishlist page on Steam, Dispatch is a game by AdHoc Studios, a new development studio that is composed of former employees from Telltale Games who have worked on games like The Walking Dead, The Wolf Among Us, and Tales from the Borderlands. I actually really like here how in the official reveal trailer for Dispatch, when it mentions, oh, from AdHoc Studio, from some of the people that brought you Walking Dead, Tales from the Borderlands, and Wolf Among Us, it actually has little, like, Easter eggs on this little piece of paper next to it. Like, for example, next to The Walking Dead, you see a bunch of zombies drawn next to the title. For The Wolf Among Us, you see Big B in his wolf form smoking a cigarette. The best part, though, is there's a little arrow next to him in his wolf form saying, still fuckable, which I find absolutely hilarious. AdHoc knows who they were appealing to when they were still at Telltale working on Wolf Among Us. But then, honestly, my favorite is when they go down to Tales from the Borderlands, and there's an arrow next to it that says, the first one, with all exclamation points next to it. Like, they know, okay, we were not associated with New Tales from the Borderlands. Like, me personally, I thought New Tales from the Borderlands was fun, but I understand that a lot of people did not like New Tales from the Borderlands, even though I did, so it's funny that they're doing that. And even besides that, there's even a little arrow off to the side next to Tales from the Borderlands logo where it just says bro, which of course is a reference to Reese and Vaughn's little bromance that they had going on in Season 1 as well, which I think is really funny. But again, off track here, what is Dispatch about? So, as I'm just reading this from the store Steam page for Dispatch, Dispatch has you playing as former superhero Robert Robertson, aka Mecha Man, a superhero who is pretty much just Batman mixed with Iron Man, that he's just a normal dude with no superpowers who ends up fighting crime in this giant mech suit. And you know me, as a Transformers fan, I love my mechs, I love my robots. So eventually, apparently the game starts off with Mecha Man here ending up getting into a fight with his arch nemesis that ends up causing his mech suit to be destroyed. And after this, when he believes his superhero career is over, he gets a job working as at a superhero dispatch center as the dispatcher, hence the name of the game. So basically, you're going to be, it's a workplace style comedy as AdHoc describes, where you'll be managing your relationships with all these other ex-supervillains turned heroes and trying to make your company as popular and successful as it be, while also potentially getting your own mech suit back to restart your job as a superhero. And it's got an absolutely star-studded cast. You'll be making choices just like you did in other Telltale games, choosing between 2 to 3 choices in certain situations. But the main gameplay of this actually comes from actually managing your superheroes, and I think this is where AdHoc's work with Dispatch is going to help differentiate it from their devs' previous work in Telltale Games, where Telltale Games were just a point-and-click game where you're making choices. This is kind of like a strategy game mixed with choices, and I actually am excited about that. So let's go ahead and explain what exactly the gameplay, or the main gameplay, I should say, of Dispatch is going to be. So the main gameplay of Dispatch, as I mentioned before, revolves around you not so much going around environments and making choices that would like change your story, but actually more so managing all these heroes to try and get jobs done in the most efficient and successful ways possible, and that maybe in the process also improving your character's relationships with everyone. So as we see here on the store page and in various parts of the game, the world premiere trailer, most of the game will involve you looking at this strategy map where you'll be seeing all these emergencies happening around LA, and based on what the job requires, you'll get to choose which of your heroes you want to send on these missions. And apparently it's a very, very in-depth system in regards to how you'll be able to like upgrade and change these heroes' relationships with each other, where you can see that you'll be able to look over like each hero's unique full bio, each of their unique stats, and in some cases even level up certain stats to make them more better suited for certain situations. And I absolutely love strategy games like this. I'm a big fan of stuff like XCOM or Fire Emblem. So to see AdHoc here take that sort of strategy game like style like of XCOM, but mix it in with more linear story-based narratives like they've done with other Telltale games in the past, it's something I'm very, very excited to see. And that's a big part of why I love Telltale games, because I love telling stories in video games and how to do it in very unique ways like they're doing with Dispatch here. It's such a unique concept, blending strategy and narrative together, that I don't think we've rarely seen before in games, maybe like outside of Fire Emblem. That's why I love Fire Emblem so much, is because the game is a strategy game first and foremost, but then each character is so unique, has their own story that you can change based and like have them get together with other characters in your party. It's so cool to see AdHoc kind of do like a more modernized Fire Emblem, trim down the gameplay but make it more narratively focused and make it less involved in strategy. I really like to see that, and it makes me very, very excited to see what they've got going with Dispatch, just because not only does the game look fun to play, it just looks like a really fun world. I love the cel-shaded comic book, low frame rate, like, animation style it has. Reminds me very much so of Invincible, the TV show, in my regards. It just looks absolutely amazing, and I'm sure the cast is going to make it even better. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about the cast now, shall we? So more than I think any Telltale game in the past has ever had, Dispatch features an incredibly stacked voice cast, and I mean incredibly stacked compared to other Telltale games. Like, sure, we've had quite a few celebrities in other Telltale games, like we had Michael Madsen as Carver in Season 2 of The Walking Dead, we had Patrick Warburton as Vasquez in Tales from the Borderlands 1, and so on, but man, Dispatch's voice cast is absolutely stacked, so let's go ahead and go over some of them. So, starting off with our main character of Mecha Man, he is going to be played by none other than Aaron Paul, and I think what might very well be one of his first ever video game credits, which I'm absolutely astounded by that he hasn't been in a video game sooner to my knowledge. So for any of you who living under a rock who don't know who Aaron Paul is, you probably recognize him as Jesse Pinkman in Breaking Bad. He was most recently in one of the last few seasons of Webb's Westworld, and also in the most recent season of Black Mirror as well. To this day, I have yet to actually see Breaking Bad. All my knowledge of Breaking Bad is through, like, Twitter memes and other online memes I've seen of it. Aside from maybe, like, one episode I saw with my parents years ago, totally out of context. So, I'm very excited to see Aaron Paul here as Mecha Man. The little bits we see of him acting in this, trailer, I absolutely love it, so I'm sure he's going to give a great performance. Then, acting opposite of him as the other two main characters of the game are Erin Yvette as Blonde Blazer and Laura Bailey as Invisigal. So, of course, Erin Yvette is a mainstay for AdHoc, considering she's one of the main employees at AdHoc, and that her fiance, Nick Herman, is the head of AdHoc, and she is also a legend to various Telltale games in the past. You probably recognize her mostly as Molly in The Walking Dead Season 1, Bonnie in 400 Days in Season 2, Snow White in The Wolf Among Us Season 1, Sasha in Tales from the Borderlands Season 1, and Vicky Vale in the Batman and Telltale series Season 1. So, to have her come back as Blonde Blazer here is a no-brainer. I love her character design, and I can't wait to see more of what she does. And, of course, she's also done stuff outside of Telltale. She was also Alex in Oxenfree 1, Wormhole in After Party, and for my Transformers fans, she was actually Slipstream in Transformers Battlegrounds, which is that strategy Transformers Cyberverse game that I actually really enjoyed. But then after her, we go on to Laura Bailey, who is playing Invisigal. Now, I absolutely love Invisigal's design, and just like Erin Yvette, Laura Bailey is no stranger to Telltale games either. She previously was Auntie Greenleaf in Season 1 of The Wolf Among Us, and her most notable roles probably were as Fiona in Tales from the Borderlands 1 and 2, and as Selena Kyle, aka Catwoman in Batman, a Telltale series. And of course, she's done a huge variety of stuff, like outside of that, like Critical Role, Abby in The Last of Us 2, one of my favorite roles she's ever done, Lucina in Fire Emblem, tons of other stuff. And I absolutely love Invisigal's design and her personality as seen in this trailer. She low-key reminds me of, honestly, like, if Sasha was a superhero from Tales of the Borderlands, that's how I imagine her, Invisigal as. And I'm interested to see how she's going to, like, bounce off of, Blonde Blazer and, Mecha Man in this game. Now, here's where things get crazy with the voice cast of Dispatch. We have 3 of the main cast, or presumably, like, sort of above, not, like, quite main characters, but pretty sure they're going to be pretty important in the game's story. We have 3 main characters voiced by actual other YouTubers, which totally surprised me. So let's go ahead and start off with the one that I'm most surprised by, and it's probably going to be my favorite character in Dispatch, and that is Sonar here. He is this, like, half man, half bat looking dude that I absolutely love his design, and he's going to be voiced by none other than Moist Critical. And my jaw dropped when I realized that Moist Critical was going to end up voicing this guy, because I did not expect to see him in this at all. Of course, I was a big fan of Moist Critical stuff years ago, back when he, like, wasn't so popular. He actually did a lot of Telltale games, like, playing them on his YouTube channel that I absolutely loved. And he's actually done, most literally, you probably know him nowadays for his Moist Meter videos and just, like, internet commentary. I'm not the biggest fan of his more modern work, where it's kind of very so much more, like, drama alert, like, reacting to news stuff, but I do like some of his videos every now and again, where he just did a review on Transformers 1 a few months ago, for instance, and it's absolutely crazy that he's voicing Sonar, because I see this bat dude, first time when I saw it, I'm like, oh my god, absolutely would. They know who they are, AdHoc knows who they're appealing to with Sonar, and I am 100% a Sonar simp. I never thought in my life I would say I am simping for a character that is a humanoid bat creature voiced by Moist Critical, but here I am saying it. I cannot wait to see Sonar more in this game, and based on the little bits we have of him in this trailer, apparently him being super fond of Twinkies for some reason, I absolutely love it. As for the other 2 YouTubers characters, I'm not sure if they're going to be really main characters in the same way as Aaron Paul of Mecha Man, or Aaron Yvette as Blonde Blazer, or even Moist Critical Sonar, but I'm sure they are probably going to be pretty big characters. So starting off, we have Jacksepticeye being a main character in this game as well, playing one of the heroes named Punch Up. And now we don't actually get to see Punch Up do a lot in this trailer, but we actually at least get to see what his design looks like. And to me, he looks like this very 1920s old-timey, like, boxer character. You got, like, the curly mustache, the comb over and everything. We don't get to see what he does at all, though we do hear, like, one voice line of him, of Jacksepticeye, doing his very, like, New York, Boston accent, and I think it's instantly Jacksepticeye. Of course, I have been a huge fan of his work for years, stemming back to his time playing through the Walking Dead Telltale games, and seeing everything he's done since then with all the other multitude of games he's covered on his YouTube channel. So I'm a huge fan of him. I absolutely can't wait. And then finally, rounding out our YouTuber voice actors for Dispatch is Alana Pierce playing a character named Malevola. So we do actually get to see Malevola quite a bit throughout this trailer, where we see she's this very demon-esque looking character. Honestly reminds me a lot of Karlach's design from Baldur's Gate 3. And for those of you who don't know, Alana Pierce is actually a very popular video game journalist and YouTuber, making a lot of content around various news in the gaming industry, though she also actually has prior experience voice acting, where she did a few guest roles, I think, in Cyberpunk 2077. But so it's really cool to see her in this game as well. We actually see one thing that's pretty interesting in this trailer, that Malevola seems to have beef with Invisigal, as there's like a few scenes in this trailer where they're actually fighting each other. I'm not actually sure what the context is for this, but I'm interested to see what her backstory with Invisigal is. Maybe they have some sort of beef, or maybe based on choices, maybe they don't blend well together, so if you put them on a mission, they'll fight each other, or argue with each other. I don't know, but I'm excited to see it. Then finally, rounding out the rest of the main cast of Dispatch with other characters that we don't quite know everything about. First off, we have Jeffrey Wright. I totally forgot to mention him as one of our main characters. We don't actually know the character he's playing as name yet, but he is the other dispatcher that will be working with Mecha Man in the office during the day. And I absolutely love his design. Reminds me a lot of Lucius Fox from Batman and Telltale series, mixed in with a bit of Doc Brown from Back to the Future. For those of you who don't know Jeffrey Wright, he has done a lot of stuff in both live action and animated stuff lately. He was Bernard back in Westworld, the Watcher in What If. And for video games, he actually just played Isaac in The Last of Us 2, and will be returning to play him again in the live-action adaptation of it, which will be in Season 2 of the TV show coming next year. So I'm super excited for that. I think Jeffrey Wright's going to kill it in this role, maybe being like sort of a mentor to Mecha Man in this game, like basically explaining to him the whole like dispatch process, which I'm really excited for. But then rounds out the cast of like other characters that we don't actually know who they're playing as yet. We have Lance Konstopoulos, Joel Haver, Travis Willingham, and Thought Squad all playing other characters in this game, and a lot of these voice actors and are from other live action and projects. Of course, Travis Willingham also is no stranger at Telltale Games. He previously played Harvey Dent, aka Two-Face, in Batman Telltale Season 1. He's done a lot of other stuff across the animation industry that I'm absolutely excited to see. And yeah, this is an absolutely star-studded cast and just makes me so excited for Dispatch. And that is everything you need to know about Dispatch, the first ever game from AdHoc Studios composed of former Telltale employees, which is a strategy, narrative, action, adventure game that will be coming out at some point in 2025, presumably to PC, Xbox Series X, PS5, and maybe Switch. Are you guys excited as I am? Because I for sure am. I would love to see this game came out early in 2025, maybe around like March or April, but we'll have to wait and see. It looks absolutely amazing, and as someone who's a huge fan of Telltale, you can bet I'm going to be playing this game on this channel for sure, and I hope you guys will enjoy me playing through it as well. So are you guys excited as I am for Dispatch? If you are, be sure to like, comment, and of course subscribe, and I will see you guys later.